Pressure is building at Ibrox, and now the financial implications are becoming impossible to ignore. Let's break this down. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Following another damaging Old Firm defeat, serious questions are being asked about whether Rangers can truly afford to stick with Danny Rowe if there is even the slightest uncertainty behind the scenes. Former Rangers midfielder Alex Rae has now warned that hesitation from the board could turn into a hugely expensive mistake, and his comments have instantly intensified the conversation surrounding Rowe's future. Speaking on Clyde One Super Scoreboard, Rae made it clear that Rangers cannot drift into another season surrounded by doubt and instability. With pressure mounting after the defeat at Celtic Park, he believes the hierarchy must make a definitive decision immediately rather than risk another costly rebuild months down the line. Rae said, "If there's any doubts at all in the minds of Andrew Kavanagh or the Rangers board, they're going to need to act now. They can't ever go through that situation again at the start of next season, because that's when it becomes a really expensive mistake." Those comments alone are significant, but it was his warning about the financial consequences that will really concern supporters. Rangers are already preparing for another crucial transfer window, with new investors expected to back major changes to the squad. However, Rae believes spending heavily on players for a manager the board are not fully convinced by could backfire spectacularly. He continued, "The last thing the new guys will want is to spend millions on a team for a manager they're not 100% sold on, then have to pay him off and start again by October. That's when it becomes a proper financial problem." That statement feels incredibly telling. Rangers are at a crossroads. Another failed managerial appointment would not only damage the club on the pitch, but could also create a massive financial setback at a time when supporters are desperate to see genuine progress and stability return to Ibrox. Despite the growing speculation, Danny Rowe has publicly insisted he remains fully committed to the project and has no intention of walking away. The German coach believes the focus of recent discussions with the board has been centred around building a side capable of winning the Scottish Premiership title next season. Rowe said, "From my side, of course, 100%. I chose this club for the reason to bring it back to success and win titles. A good process is not enough for this club. That's not what we want." But with fan frustration rising, pressure intensifying after another Old Firm defeat, and financial fears now entering the conversation, the coming weeks suddenly feel absolutely massive for Rangers. One wrong decision now could cost the club millions, and potentially set them back yet again in their battle to catch Celtic. In other news, there was a sense of intrigue when the Rangers team sheet dropped ahead of Sunday's Old Firm clash against Celtic. Among the names included in Danny Rowe's starting 11 was Oliver Antman, a player many supporters had almost forgotten about in recent weeks due to his lack of involvement. In a season where opportunities have been difficult to come by for the Finnish international, this felt enormous. A packed Parkhead, the biggest fixture in Scottish football, and the chance to prove he belongs at Ibrox moving forward. But instead of announcing himself on the biggest stage, Antman endured another frustrating afternoon that only deepened the uncertainty surrounding his Rangers' future. When Rangers signed Antman from go-ahead Eagles during the summer transfer window, there was genuine excitement around the move. The 24-year-old arrived with an impressive reputation after a standout campaign in the Eredivisie, where he registered 6 goals and an outstanding 16 assists in just 36 appearances. Those numbers immediately suggested Rangers were bringing in a creative, dynamic winger capable of transforming games in the final third. Add in his experience at international level with Finland national football team, and many believed Rangers had secured one of the smartest signings of the window. The expectation was that Antman would become a major weapon for Rangers this season. His ability to operate in wide areas, carry the ball at pace, and create opportunities for teammates appeared perfectly suited to Scottish football. Supporters envisioned a player capable of unlocking stubborn defences and adding another layer of unpredictability to the attack. Yet with only 2 matches remaining this season, the reality has looked very different. Instead of establishing himself as a regular starter, Antman has spent much of the campaign on the fringes. Inconsistency in selection has prevented him from building momentum, while competition for places has seen him drift further down the pecking order. Prior to Sunday's derby, he had been an unused substitute in 3 of Rangers' previous 4 matches, with only a brief 5-minute cameo against Falkirk to show for his recent involvement. That made his inclusion against Celtic all the more surprising. Perhaps Danny Roll saw Antman as a wildcard option, someone Celtic wouldn't fully prepare for. A player with fresh legs, technical quality, and the unpredictability to shift the momentum of such a high-pressure encounter. In theory, it made sense. Rangers needed something different. They needed energy, bravery, and invention. Antman had the chance to provide exactly that. Unfortunately for both player and manager, it simply never happened. From the opening stages, Antman struggled to impose himself on the match. Celtic controlled large spells of possession and intensity, while Rangers found it difficult to establish rhythm in attacking areas. For a winger thrown into an environment of that magnitude, after barely featuring in recent weeks, the task quickly became overwhelming. Every touch carried pressure, every misplaced pass invited frustration, and as the game wore on, Antman looked increasingly disconnected from the flow of the contest. The statistics from his performance paint a brutal picture. According to FotMob, Antman completed just 7 passes throughout his time on the pitch. He failed to create a single chance and did not register 1 effort on goal. Across nearly an hour of football, he managed only 18 touches, with just 1 coming inside Celtic's penalty area. He completed 1 accurate cross, was dribbled past once, and recorded only 3 defensive contributions before eventually being substituted just before the hour mark. For a player brought in to provide creativity and attacking spark, those numbers are alarming. This was supposed to be an audition, a chance to remind everyone why Rangers pursued him so aggressively last summer. Instead, it became another afternoon where he drifted through the game without making any meaningful impact. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.